these are nothing you have ever heard before. Of course, there are a couple that will also be amusing. In this particular one, there are two pieces here. One that's called Three Tall Tales, and the second one is called Excursions. Three Tall Tales was written for tenor sax, and the protocol that we go through is we will play the three movements for you, and then our illustrious hostess here will do a Q&A where you can roast the performer or the composer, or whichever you wish to do, partake of cookies, beverage. We made sure there was no tomatoes. And then we play the piece again. Then we'll go on to the second piece, and then we'll have another Q&A, and then we'll do that one again. So that's kind of like the protocol we're going to go. So I introduce you the soloist, Alan Johnson.
First question, Alan.
Yeah.
How difficult was this to play?
I told James, I said my whole career was jazz, which is, okay, marching band, okay, teaching fifth graders, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I had to throw all of that out. Right? And then, I don't think you hear a scale that you recognize in that whole thing. We call that in music, it's atonal. All right? Harmonically, there's nothing I recognize. All right? A lot of times in music, if you get yourself a little off base, you hear cadences, places where the phrase ends, or the sentence ends, or the paragraph ends. He doesn't incorporate any of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like flying by the seat of your pants for the whole thing. It was a challenge, it was a learning event extraordinaire for me. It was quite the deal.
Yes, it was.
I have some
Oh, wow.
Magic.
I always thought I had a loud voice to begin with, but there you go. First of all, when I first heard this a few days ago, I was completely wowed. I had many, many different emotions come across. And today there are even different emotions. I'm amazed at James' versatility, his imagination. The first piece that I heard today, there was a lot of energy in the encounter. The revelation was quite sad to me. And the visitation started with arguments. And then it sounded like, oh, they're resolving them. And then it ended with more arguments. Today is Ash Wednesday. And being strong long ago, many, many years ago, becoming a Lutheran, this was not Ash Wednesday to me at first. But I think that Ash Wednesday, we talk to ourselves to be a better person. We have energy. we're sad, we have arguments. And all through Lent, we hopefully resolve those and learn from them. Now, I'm asking you as a congregation, no, sorry about that, as an audience, what did you think?
Who spoke?
Who spoke? Would you like to comment the second time around? Because you are going to do it again, aren't you? Okay. Oh, no, he's just, okay. So let's listen to it again, and then I want some comments from you.
Will you test afterwards?
There will be a test.
Oh, no.
You have to play the same.
Should I turn this on?
Yeah. It's off.
There you go.
I'm going to share one more thing. So my first early questions for James is, so what are these pieces about? Tall Tales. One of the final pieces, the other two, the trombone pieces, he's told me some of what about it, and the other one I had. These, he says, no, he said, I'm not going to tell you about them. He says, they're things that are part of my life. They're tales about my life. He told me a little bit of a story about the last one. What she said about it was kind of spot on. I mean, apparently what he was with came across. And I struggle with trying to figure out how to put this thing together just because of the fact I don't have any, I mean, all the parameters that I think of in music are kind of missing, okay, if you can understand my earlier statement. So I was looking at okay, what's this supposed to be saying? So I finally came up with this, and this is the way I operate it, and I think maybe you can play with it in your own mind. I remember growing up, high school, probably not earlier than that, high school, college, early years of teaching and stuff. Episodes in my life came about, okay? Some of those episodes I can't quit talking about, and I should. But some of those episodes in my life, I don't share with anybody for whatever reason that might be. If they were embarrassing, if they were whatever. But there were stories, tall tales in my life that I think what I feel he has done with this piece, he's telling those tales to us almost in a cathartic way, letting them go. Be with that as you listen for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step up for just a second.
Now it's going to be your turn to be able to talk. However, I'm going to impress you by some quotes. Leonard Bernstein said, "Music can name the unnameable, and communicate the unknowledgeable." I better say that again. Music can name the unnameable and communicate the unknowable. The second time that I heard this, today, it moved me again in different directions, and I'm hoping to find your direction, your feelings of this music. I'm very impressed with James and his writings of many, many notes. One more quote is, "Music is the shorthand of emotion." That's Leo Tolstoy. Questions and answers and comments, please.
I think it's a beautiful piece of music. Again, the thing that Jim composed this was just amazing, and it's music that I could certainly listen to again.
I'm going to have you repeat that.
I think it's a beautiful piece of music. I'm amazed that Jim can compose a piece such as this, and it is definitely a composition that I could listen to again and again.
Any more comments?
I agree. Each time I hear it, it makes a little more sense, and then hearing the story behind it really clarified it, I think, a lot for me, because when I first heard it, I said, "What is this crap?" You know? I mean, honest, it's unusual to hear that kind of music, what I'm used to hearing anyway. But when you stop and think about why it's written and how it comes out, and each time it's played, it makes kind of sinks in a different part of your brain. So, well done, James.
All good comments. Some more, please?
Alan?
I'll go
Okay, as we go on to this next piece, there are some things that happen when you write. Sometimes you write a piece and it's what you want to have happen. However, not necessarily one that you also can perform. This particular piece that you have next, Excursions, you'll see that it deals with two places. Burton, Athyn, which is a very interesting place in Pennsylvania, a denomination all unto itself, which has a beautiful, beautiful cathedral, and Strathmere. Strathmere, New Jersey is probably the only place on the Jersey shore that nobody visits. So you can actually be on that beach on the 4th of July and there will only be 5 people there. The reason is that the town's not incorporated, there are no amenities, there's no sewer, there's no water, it's wells, it's what have you. So it's a very peaceful and wonderful place. In talking about these compositions, I can't play the accompaniment, so we have it going through the speakers. So the pieces deal with events that occurred in those places, not necessarily a reflection of what that particular spiritual place is. So Alan's going to play to the actual tape, and we'll see how that goes. So this is Excursions.
It will be an excursion.
think we should clap for that. I wish you had the music to see. Joan, Pam, Lana, who else is piano player? Anyway, you should see this. It's amazing. Oh, I'm up. I was enjoying, I really wish that you could see the music. Here's sort of one page.
Did you know there's a shortage of ink?
They didn't run out.
No.
So, comments?
Very moving.
Yes,
I mean, not just tempo, but up and down all over the place.
very good, yes.
Do both parts have, both parts written on them so that Alan and the accompaniment can track each other?
Oh, yeah, well, I have this page, I'll show you.
He has it written as a score, but I have just the solo part.
Oh, this is wrong, that's the wrong one, I didn't realize a second.
If I had it all in front of me, I'd really get confused.
We tried, the issue was 30 pages, you know, that kind of a thing. And so Strathmere, I struggle with this time. There's a couple stories for me on that, not excuses. It's slow. And I have been playing so much other stuff, there's more, I don't get down to the right speed. But there's some spots that get it there. The story, and so what I've gotten to the point of doing is creating markers. You know, okay, in Strathmere, at the beginning there's to me that's birds chirping. And basically the story of the song, one of the stories he gave me to visualize with on Strathmere was the fact I'm an Amish guy walking through this little town, and the ocean is kind of stirring up and getting more crazy as it's going on, and you can see that part is getting, even he does it with intervals, what he's doing. And then what he's doing up above is birds chirping, or seagulls flying by and whatever. So when I hit the chirping spot, I know I better be out of the way and try to get myself back into gear again. And I had trouble with that on that one, to get that to happen. But that's the way I'm following it, Bob, is I'm just finding markers. So I had to study the score, so to speak, to do it. Because there's really, you're not finding a pulse to the extent of what we're used to doing. The first one, he's told the church, story of the church. I mean, this has been an incredible, it goes back to college for me, thinking about what the music is doing, trying to, try to get some kind of a picture of it all. The first piece, Burton, Athyn, I looked up the church, I did the story. I encourage you to just kind of look up and just, the picture of the church is there, but some of the story of the community and the stuff around it. The one thing that kind of helped tie something together for me, I don't think it's on the page where he was at, but I had to find some visualizations to go with. It's as massive as a church in Europe, one of the big cathedrals. But it deals, there's imperfections through the whole thing. There's not one door in that huge place that's the same as all the other doors. And so that's what's going on with that thing in my mind. I mean, you go there and it's just that kind of a deal, you know, and what it's all about. And he can tell some of the church's philosophy that kind of ties to what that is. It isn't supposed to be the perfect place of a cathedral that we find in Europe, you know, and that kind of a thing. I don't get much chance to fix things because I don't have my piano player on this one. But I mean, there's some real, and it's a little hard to hear the tape for me in some respects. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm hoping it's coming off enough. And then the other thing at the beginning of the second one, or the first one, switching from the tenor sax to the trombone that quickly is a little bit. I didn't think about the fact that we were going to play through the whole tenor sax repertoire twice. So that sets me even more. We've been practicing playing the tenor sax stuff and then playing the trombone stuff. Play the whole tenor sax thing twice and then going to the trombone. It's like, how do I get that thing to adjust? So we'll see if it goes better this time.
It went very well the first time, my dear.
Well, we are out of time, so we'll maybe look at this again in the future. Okay. We'll see how things go. I want to thank you all for coming, and one of the things that I find that's so exciting about my being in this particular position is that I have inflicted and given to this congregation things that have challenged their ears during the entire time I have been here. And this is a case also where I believe that I've also put some challenges in front of you. So I hope you come back. Next week we have the privilege of having Joan, who will be playing organ, and some piece that she wrote, which will be very interesting, and we're looking forward to that. I hope you support this series, and thank you for coming. Take cookies, have coffee. You can stick around if you'd like, but thank you for coming.